Hello Ronlings. I think I've forgotten an attachment that goes on the top of my tripod, so it's just like sat there precariously. It's not actually attached to the tripod, so I can't really move it around the box. So apologies for that. It's kind of fixed. Always forget something. So this is going to be a review. I don't usually tend to do reviews very often because I like to buy stuff and bring it with me, and then use it while I'm bringing it with me. You know, I do very few separate videos just for reviews. The only people that do that are people that have been sponsored to do it, and they're gonna tell you they love it because they've been paid to do so. So I don't tend to do reviews because I'm not monetized, so I don't do all that guff. But this is one that justified a separate preview because it's going to be quite a long one, because I thought while I'm at it I'd explain the thought process behind buying this new tent, because it's a big family one, yeah, that me and my partner have bought together to go away in. The channel is not changing its path. It's always going to be stealth camping and backpacking and all that, but there might be the odd, if I decide to film it, the odd family tent camp, not with my family, just me and my partner. Our kids don't want to know, they're grown up now, they don't want to know, they don't want nothing to do with camping, so it's just me and my partner. So we bought a family tent big enough to give us a nice place and lots of space without going too mad. I thought it'd be nice if anyone's thinking of getting a family tent, they've got a family and thinking of going camping or renewing the tent. I thought it'd be nice to show you the thought process behind why we buy it. So it's kind of as I say, there's no such thing as saying like this is the best tent, you need to buy this one, unless you're being paid. That's the only people that say it, because they're being paid to do so. But there's no such thing as the best tent. If there was, everyone would have the same tent and everyone else would go out of business, because there is no such thing. People are different. People's situation, especially with family tents, there's so many variables. There can't be a best tent. Everyone has different amount of children. Everyone goes away at different times. Some do it for short, some do it for longer, and just simply taste. Some people walk into a shop and say, I want it to have this and that on the tent, and I'm not interested in any other tent unless it has this and that. And another one might walk in straight afterwards and say, well, I don't really care about that, I don't want that on my tent. So there is no, I can't say to you buy this tent that we've bought because it's the best thing ever, because everyone's different. It was the best thing for us, so I think it's better that I explain to you as I'm putting up and showing you how we arrived at this tent and why it was best for us. And along the way, you might I might throw some things at you hadn't thought of, and you might go, oh yeah, that's a good point, that you factor into when you're thinking of buying one. So we bought, I'm not gonna lift it up, we bought Outwell Oregon 4. Oregon 4. Outwell Oregon 4. As I said earlier, it's only me and my partner come in, but we wanted to accommodate maybe if one of the kids one day changed their mind and said, oh yeah, I'll give it a go. It's extremely unlikely they're going to do that. They're very adamant that they're not going to, but if they do, we wanted to be able to accommodate them. But we needed to concentrate on just us, because there's no point in buying a huge tent that accommodates them if they never come, or they only come once in a blue moon. It's no point. So we're better off accommodating for ourselves, and then if they come along, we may struggle a bit for space or something, but at least they can come along with us, and we'll struggle for the 0.001% of the year that's going to happen, if at all. So we were just thinking about ourselves, but we wanted plenty of room, but we didn't want to go overboard, because the first thing you've got to look into is the pack size. Family tents can be huge. I've had some real monsters in the past that take up the whole boot, because when you see them up, you think, oh, that's amazing, it's great, oh God, get this one's brilliant. But the pack size is so massive, it's like all your boot taken up, so everything has to be squeezed everything else you bring has to squeeze onto the back seat. So you need to think about pack size, the size of your car versus the size of your tent. It makes much more sense to buy a tent that's suitable for your car than to buy a tent and then have to buy a whole new car. So you want to keep your pack size as small as you can, but don't compromise too much on space, you know, so don't go excessive with space. Give yourself enough, but don't go mad, because if you don't need the space, there's no point in buying a tent that size. I do recommend, we went to Go Outdoors and they have all the tents outside. That's our nearest one that has tents all outside. You can't beat walking into a tent and having a look and seeing how they go, how they work. You can look at sizes all day long, but you'll never beat actually being there. And also in these places they put the tent up at the beginning of the year, and these tents are up for months. So you can see their wear and how well they're doing. They're up for months. They put it through extreme conditions that you wouldn't normally put them through, but nonetheless they're being put up in and left up, and hundreds of people are coming in and walking into them and zipping them up and unzipping them, and they're getting a lot more wear than they normally would. So it's a really good opportunity to see how bad they are. The tent we chose was almost pristine. We checked that it had been put up at the same time as all the others. It was almost pristine. Other tents were faded, sagging and looking a bit tired, and this one looked like it had just been put up. That's why we had to ask to make sure. And in my opinion, it's Outwell. Outwell are slightly more expensive equipment. Certainly talking of tents, they're more expensive tents, but they are much, in my opinion, much better quality tents. So you might want to compromise on a few things that you like in order to get the better quality, because that's what we ended up doing. We narrowed it down to 2 tents. I personally wanted some sort of vestibule that didn't have a ground sheet, didn't have a front on it, just a canopy if you like, so that if it's pouring down with rain, because you have to factor that in, you put your boots in the vestibule, canopy, whatever you want to call it, and then you can walk in and you're not walking mud all inside. And hang coats up as well. You know, your coat's soaking wet, you don't want to bring it inside the tent, so you can hang it up in this sort of canopy area. So it had to have a canopy. And the two we narrowed it down to had quite a big canopy. It was an extra pole to make this big canopy that went right from the floor, because these are tunnel tents that we're looking at, because I like them the best. And yeah, they had a whole section added on, but with no wall, no floor. And I really liked that. And the one we bought had just a little bit of a canopy at the top. And it also is not just about putting wet stuff in it. You can actually, if you're pouring down rain and it's really hot, you can keep the door open, sit inside and still look out at the rain coming down, and you're not having to box yourself into the tent and just stare at the insides of the tent. So that's quite important to me. That's my personal preference. The other designs where they angle like that at the front and you unzip them, so that means the whole living room area is exposed to the weather. See, as soon as it rains, you have to do them up, otherwise the rain comes directly into your tent. Don't like that at all. So it had to have some sort of canopy or extra piece or whatever. And the other one was bigger than this one, but again, yeah, as I said, but the quality made that not matter so much. We still got a canopy, still be able to open the door, I think, if it's raining, but it didn't go all the way to the floor, so maybe you wouldn't be able to leave boots outside, they'd get wet perhaps. But it was a compromise I was willing to make, because the quality of this was so much more. And that was the reason for getting it. It's a 4-bedroom tent, so we're going to have 1 bedroom, and then we're going to put the toilet in the other, and we're going to put all our clothes and stuff in like a changing area in the other room, and that still leaves the whole of the living room to live in. So that's plenty of space, but it's not a big one. The pack size, as you can see, is not particularly massive. You can see me in comparison there, and it's heavy, but it's heavy enough. It's not so heavy that I can't lift it up, lift it into the car. It's something you have to consider. That's quite important, the pack size, because you've got to be able to lift it into the car, you've got to be able to carry it around, you've got to be able to if you're a single parent and you're on your own, you've got to put it up on your own. You know, the bigger it is, the harder that is. It's not just putting it up, is it? It's also putting everything inside it, setting up all the all the beds. If you've got kids, you're blowing up all their beds, and you're blowing up your own bed, and you're putting the equipment aside, so it doesn't end when you put the tent up. You've got to do all that on your own, so you want to help yourself by keeping the pack as small as possible, but try not to go too small, so you've still got the room and space for everyone. But yeah, I don't walk into a shop and just say this tent's lovely, it's huge, and say I'll have it without looking at the pack size, because I did that once before. We saw, it was with my ex-wife, we saw a massive tent and it was absolutely brilliant and we loved it. It was so much space and then we went into the shop to look for the pack and we saw it and went, cool, that's really big and heavy, but we can live with that. Took it up to the counter and they said, oh, that's one of two, and we were like, what? We bought it because there was a big queue of people and they're all looking at their watches. Oh Christ, so we bought it because we were kind of rushed and didn't have the second chance to think about the pack size. And we got it at home and we hated it ever since. It was lovely when it was up, but we hated lugging it around. It took up just about all of the car, and we regretted it ever since. So you know, pack size is really important. Excuse the road noise, we are next to a this is a cheap campsite. I'm at a campsite, so unusual for my channel. I don't do that a lot. Yeah, there you go. So here it is. I'll go around the back. That's all set up and ready to go. So you can see by looking at it that it's not a massively big one. But as I said, this is just big enough for me and my fiancée. And the idea is that if the kids decide they want to come, it's going to be really unlikely, or if they do, it would be really rare. So it's better to struggle for 0.5% of the time that's going to happen, but have plenty of room for ourselves without going overboard and having too much space. So I think that's about the right size. It's a really good quality one. Outwell are really good quality, and look at the difference in poles. Anyone who knows anything about camping knows that, you generally speaking, the little thin fiberglass poles come with it. But look at that, it's some real strong, decent stuff. And this thing, you know, it's like your tyre kickers. If people come along, they grab the tent and give it a pull, and I see, I mean, this thing isn't going anywhere, but it has got 78 gajillion guy ropes. Look at this lot. Whee! Look at that. There's millions of them. It's like a minefield. But the features we liked about it, as I said, the other one we were thinking of getting had a bigger canopy, but we vetoed that over the quality. And this to me is important. The canopy, so that when it pours down with rain, and you've got to get inside the tent, is that you can come. Oh, somebody's shut the vent up, and I nearly mincemeated my face. So you can come inside the tent, and you can sit there and look out, and you've got this nice canopy. It's pouring down with rain, and you're well protected. So you can sit and look out in dryness. I'll come back in a minute. Just lock me out.
It's nice
So
coming
I'm just
in.
going to unlock it again. So one thing that really did it for my partner was this quick, what do they call it? Quick and quiet inner door. So you can just push your way in, and then it all open it up. So I get, if you got, I hadn't thought about it before, but now I'm thinking, if you've got kids and you need to keep coming out and going in the tent without waking them up, obviously the old zzz, that's a really nice quiet way of getting in and out, and quick and easy, and that kind of sold it for my fiance. But we've got we're going to use this room as a toilet. And we'll probably put, on longer stays we'll probably put clothes in there and stuff like that, and a little area to change. There's some massive space in it just for one room. And then you've got this one. I haven't put the bed up yet, but this is where we're going to sleep. Again, plenty of space for a double bed. Nice feature. Unusual for, oh, it's not too dark in it, it's good. Unusual for this is the wall, obviously, that separates the two. We decided to have it down because, as I say, the other side's a toilet. But a nice feature about that is, I like, every tent I've had has these little toggles like that toggle the middle section in, but this one's actually sewn in at the top. So normally, if you want to take the whole thing down, you have to take the whole thing down, and you have to find somewhere to put it. And being toggles, the top along here is always sags, comes down here like that, and you can see through into other rooms. So if there are two people sharing this space, the privacy's less. This is all sewn into the top, so all you do, if you don't want it, is just roll it up. You haven't got to store it anywhere, and when it's up, it's nice and private if you are sharing. So it's a really good, nice touch. I like that, and it's sort of very Blackout technology to help keep you from the sun from boiling you. The windows are smoked very slightly, which is a nice little touch, helps on the sun. And it's a good space. Sorry, but I've got a gown. It's a good space. It's not, as I said, it's not too massive, it's not too tiny, it's big enough for us without being excessive, because obviously the more space you get, the better. But as I said earlier, that affects the pack size. So it's trying to keep that pack size small but not be cramped, and I think this does a good job. I think that is a good size. That is a very good size. And the bedrooms are a nice size as well. And it is much better quality material. The poles are better quality. It's much sturdier. There are 17 gajillion guy ropes, but I think it's well worth it. You've got nice little touches like down here and outside there. This is the living room, and you've got like a vent in here. You see the little thing to hold it out, and then you've got a vent inside there. You've got a vent round the back, and there's not much more I can say about it really. I think the quality is the biggest one. I've had a load of tents, and just the material itself is really good quality material, and the poles are really good quality. Outwell are slightly more expensive, but it's worth your money. And this tent had no fade on it at all, even though it'd been sitting in. We went through 3 heat waves, and this tent never faded at all, whereas all the others were faded at least a little bit. And that just says everything about the quality of it. But yeah, let me come around the front. So that's what that's what we got, and that's what we liked about it. Nice little touch I forgot to mention I've never seen before. I have seen it before, I've never had a tent before that has it. And the top here, you've got this little clear ridge that runs all the way along, and you get in your bag a pack of these little fellas, and what you do is you peg it to that, and inside, well, on the outside you've got these two little holes that you can put things through. On the inside there's a little place to hang. I see I've done it on this one, look, there's a little place to hang your coat, and you can run them all the way. It goes all the way, that little yellow piping, clear piping goes all the way down, so you can actually hang stuff off these little hooks. And I know you can buy them separately, you can buy more. We've got a light hanging off of that one, and we've got, as I say, my coat, and you can run things through the little holes, and that I thought was a really nice touch, because you can hang multiple things off, and you've got somewhere to put your lights. Because initially I was thinking there's no hooks or anything to put your light on. Sometimes there's one. Nearly every time I bought a tent, there's been one here in the doorway, and I was a bit disappointed not to see that I didn't have one, until we found these little grey hooks that are in there, and just changed everything. You can hang whatever you like off there. Nice little fire going after our meal. Sat in front of our new tent. This is a review and a half, well, from my point of view anyway. Good night, and I'll see you in the morning. As you might be able to hear, it's pouring down with rain. A little test of what I was saying earlier about having a canopy. We had to retreat inside. We're inside the living room now, and this is my case in point. We've got the door open, we've got the net up, obviously, just want to still keep the bugs out. We've got the door open, and that little canopy up there, keeping everything dry. Our shoes are down here, we put our shoes outside to keep all along there. There's a rubbish bag there, don't want a stinky rubbish bag in with us. And they're all staying completely dry, so we're leaving our shoes outside to not get the mess in here, and it's all staying completely dry. Would I have liked a bigger canopy? The other tent had a slightly bigger one, would have been just that little bit drier, but this is doing the job. So we're gonna have the door open, we watch the world out the big window, and everything down there is staying dry. You could probably hang a coat out there and let it drip dry outside. So that's my point. You know, that was the reason for doing it, and today here we are on our first camp in this tent, actually having to do it. You know, it's pouring down with rain, and we've still got a lovely view, and we're still completely dry, and we still put our shoes outside, and I'm looking at them, there's no water getting on them at all. So for me, everyone's different, for me that's quite important. Those designs that slope like that, so when the doors open, the water goes directly into your living area, because you know the doors at a slope, so you have to close it up and sit enclosed inside your tent. But this design allows us to still keep the door open, still keep the air coming in, because it's quite warm in here. It's raining, but still in the summer, and it's actually quite warm. I've got my shorts on, look, because it's really warm. So it allows the airflow to continue, and you can look outside for the view, and still, you know, you're still getting an element of enjoyment. You're not closing yourself in and having to sort of sit staring at the inside of the tent. It's nice. We're packing up to go. I didn't show you every aspect of the camp because it was more of a review than it was a a campy thing. But overall, it's been a really good one. It poured down with rain, so it's kept us lovely and dry. There's plenty of room in it. As I said, this canopy's a bit of a godsend, and it's been a really good one. And it's we're already booked to use it again soon, because it was a success. So overall, thumbs up for this one. If there's 2 of you, plenty of space. It's meant for 4 people. If there's 4 of you, if you have to be inside because it's raining, you're gonna be a little bit more cramped in the living area. But it's doable. But I wouldn't recommend it for 4 people. I'd get something bigger. But for 2 of us, it's perfect. You know, one side was the toilet and getting changed area of the bedroom, I mean, and the other side was where we slept. It means nothing other than what we needed for like kitchen and that went in the living room. We had tons of space. For 2 people, it's brilliant, and the pack size isn't too big, so it's not an unrealistic pack size for 2 people either. So yes, thumbs up. I loved it. It was well worth the money. Next one I'm doing is going to be a stealth camp. Back to normal, and back to normal routines on the channel. And I'll see you then. Hope you can come with me.